October marks National Marine Month. It's one of many industries that faces tough challenges during lockdown. So how's it recovering? Joining us for discussions around that is Managing Director for Servest Marine, Lwandile Mabuza. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. So how did the lockdown and subsequent economic fallout impact the marine sector?
Well, the biggest impact we felt was with the lockdown of key sectors in South Africa. You'll understand that the maritime industry relies on international trade. And so with the closure or lockdown of key sectors, we had a slowdown in economic activity. Again, the closures of our borders all further impacted, trade volumes, as well as our ability to be able to relieve essential workers that are working on maritime vessels out at sea. So we also experienced banning of maritime activity due to safety concerns, as well as, the major part was also the uncertainty of the regulatory environment.
So we've seen a considerable slowing down in the rate of infections, but a lot of the countries that we trade with have seen serious spikes. Has that affected trade? Are many ports overseas still closed?
No, ports are not closed at the moment. However, what does have significant impact is the volume of goods traded. For example, when we have lockdown and manufacturing sectors and mining sectors shut down due to safety concerns around the spread of the virus, then what happens is that, we're not able to trade as much volume as we are normally able to.
So what challenges did the sector experience with implementation of regulations around COVID-19?
Well, with COVID-19 brought with it a lot of uncertainty because, and we appreciate the leadership that was shown by, our president together with our Ministry of Transport, because we were able, I think, to respond very well to the changes brought about, by the stepping down of the country from lockdown level 5 right down to level 1. So what we experienced during that time was that when we were at the highest level, which was level 5, we saw economic activity almost come to a standstill. However, as the levels eased, we were able to recover somewhat. And I think with level 1, we've done a tremendous job. And it's also brought about opportunities for us to reposition our country as the maritime hub, particularly on the key routes between Asia as well as Europe and South America.
So how are recovery efforts faring in general?
At the moment, we have seen, particularly since 1st of October, we've seen a spike in trade. So we have been experiencing, I think, phenomenal recovery. And it's been on the various nodes of the value chain in the maritime sector. So everything from transport as well as trade. And now we're also seeing the tourism sector being able to feed off this recovery. Because part of the work that we do with the repatriation of the seafarers who have been stuck at sea, they come through our international airports and they are spending money in the economy through hotels that they have to go into before they are transported onto the vessels and vice versa. So we are seeing a lot of stimulus in terms of economic activities throughout the value chain.
Let's talk about future growth. Operation Phakisa aimed to create over 1 million jobs by 2033. Will this major setback during COVID delay the achievement of those goals?
At the moment, it will be our response to the disruption brought about COVID that will delay the achievement of those goals. Because with this disruption has brought about new opportunities, which we need to now review our oceans economy roadmap to respond to those. So if I can give you an example, with the COVID disruption, it led us to a rapid pace in terms of technology advancement. And so what we need to do in partnership with government and private sector, we need to quickly look at ways in which we can improve ease of doing business and facilitate trade more effectively, and using technology such as single window platforms, where we are able to have one single source of truth, a platform where all importers and exporters can actually do all their documentation and compliancy over one platform. And that will rapidly improve the way in which we do business in South Africa.
Conservation has to be a key factor in the oceans economy. But as we see across the globe, when we're focused on one thing, and in this case COVID-19, it seems we drop the ball in a lot of other areas. So where are we faring in terms of maintaining that fine balance between conservation and driving the oceans economy?
At the moment, I mean, I would say that we are still faring well ahead in terms of being, on the regulatory space, being very stringent and applying a lot of stringent measures to make sure that there is compliance in the sector and we avoid the risks that are and unintended consequences of maritime trade. So we've seen a lot from the Department of Environmental Affairs. And again, our quick response and collaborative attitude of private and public sector as far as this is concerned has been phenomenal in South Africa.
Well, lots of good news there. Thank you very much for speaking to us. That was Managing Director of Servest Marine, Lwandile Mabuza.